Can animals recognize themselves? Hold a mirror up to your dog. Go ahead. Most of the time, they'll bark at it, paw at it, or just walk away. Totally bored. Like there's nothing there worth looking at. And you probably think, "Aw, they don't get it." But here's the thing that should stop you cold. Your dog might understand exactly what a mirror is. It just doesn't care the way you'd expect. And the real question underneath all of this, the one scientists have been fighting about for 50 years, isn't whether animals see themselves. It's whether they know that reflection is them. A me. One of the animals that figured it out is going to sound completely made up. I'll get there. Stick with me. Because here's where it gets strange. There's an actual test for this. A real scientific one. And the animals that pass it? Not the ones you'd bet on. Back in 1970, a psychologist named Gordon Gallup was shaving in front of his bathroom mirror. A completely normal morning, when a wild idea hit him. What if you could actually measure self-awareness? Not with words, not with a conversation, with a mirror and a little smudge of paint. So he built the test that's now famous, and it's beautifully simple. You put a mark on the animal, a dot of odorless dye, somewhere it can't see on its own body, the forehead usually. Then you hand it a mirror. If the animal just stares, nothing happens. But if it reaches up and touches that mark on its own face, not the glass, its own body, that's the moment. That means it looked in the mirror and thought, "Wait, that's me. And there's something on me." That one tiny touch is the whole ballgame. And when Gallup ran it on chimpanzees, they passed. They used the mirror to pick food out of their teeth, to groom spots they'd never seen before. Undeniable. If this is already clicking for you, drop a like. It honestly helps this reach more people. Now you'd think, okay, chimps are smart, case closed. But that's where the whole thing cracks wide open. Because the list of animals that pass is short. Weirdly short. Here's the club. Chimps. Bonobos. Orangutans. Then it jumps to species that make no sense together. Bottlenose dolphins. Orcas. Asian elephants. Picture that. An elephant standing at a mirror, reaching up with its trunk to touch a white X on its own forehead. A mark it could not possibly have seen any other way. Let that sit for a second. But now notice who's missing. Your dog, your cat, almost every monkey. And that alone tells you something's off about how we measure smart. Because if this were just about brain size, or being cute and clever, dogs would ace it. They don't. So what is this test really measuring? Hold that thought, because the next animal breaks the pattern completely. A bird passed. And not a parrot, a magpie. Researchers stuck a little colored dot under a magpie's beak, a spot it could only catch in a mirror, and the magpie started scratching at it, trying to get it off its own body. This was a huge deal, because birds don't even have the part of the brain we always assumed you needed for this, the neocortex. No neocortex. Still passed. Which quietly blew up a 50-year-old assumption about where self-awareness even comes from. And that's when scientists started asking a scarier question. Not which animals are self-aware, but have we been testing this completely wrong the whole time? Quick one for you before we keep going. Do you think your own dog or cat knows that's them in the mirror? Drop your honest gut answer below. I actually read them. Okay, now the one I promised you. Major rehook, 4 o'clock. A fish passed the mirror test. I'm not joking. It's called the cleaner wrasse, a little reef fish smaller than your finger. Scientists marked it with a brown spot on its throat, made to look like a parasite. And in front of a mirror, the fish tried to scrape that exact spot off by rubbing its throat against the sand. No mark, no scraping. Add the mark, and it goes straight for it. The science world basically lost its mind. Half the researchers said, "That's it, fish are self-aware." The other half said, "No way, the test must be broken if a fish can pass it." And here's the twist. Both of those reactions accidentally point to the real answer. Because think about what the mirror test actually rewards. It rewards eyes. It rewards animals that live in a world of sight. But your dog? Your dog doesn't live in a world of sight. Your dog lives in a world of smell. To a dog, a reflection is silent and scentless. It's basically a ghost. Of course, they ignore it. So one researcher tried something clever. Instead of a mirror, she used smell. She let dogs sniff their own urine, and then a version of it that had been secretly tampered with. And the dogs spent way longer sniffing the altered one, the one that smelled like them, but off. Like they were thinking, that's my scent, but something about it is different. That is the nose version of looking in a mirror and noticing the smudge, which means your dog might have a sense of self after all. We were just handing it the wrong test. Asking a nose animal to prove itself with its eyes, and that flips the entire question upside down. It was never really about the mirror. The mirror was just our way of asking something much bigger. Here's the part that hits home. You weren't born passing this test either. Show a mirror to a 1-year-old human baby, and they'll treat that reflection like another kid. They'll wave at it, reach for it, try to play with it. It's only around 18 months, sometimes closer to 2 years, that a toddler reaches up and touches the smudge on their own face. That is the exact moment a human being first realizes, that's me. A self. It's not something you're born knowing, it clicks on. So come back to your dog, staring blankly into that mirror. It was never proof they're dumb. It's proof they experience self in a language we don't speak. One made of scent, not reflection. The mirror test didn't measure who's self-aware. It measured who happens to see the world the way we do. And the animals that failed weren't failing at being aware. They were just aware, differently. If this changed the way you look at your own reflection, even a little, subscribe, because the next one goes even deeper into what's really happening inside an animal's mind. And if you want your head messed with all over again, go watch the one on whether animals actually remember your face. It pairs perfectly with this one.